Hi, Capricorn. How did that full moon in Sagittarius treat you then? In your sector of secrets. Somebody's secret came out, somebody surprised you. And what are you going to do with it now? Because chances are that what surprised you the week of the full moon has actually somewhat been tempting. And in some ways, very hindering. So with the Seven of Pentacles and the Devil and the Queen of Wands, if you're dealing with somebody who's a Wands personality, they are possibly feeling too big for their boots. They're possibly kind of ego-driven, someone that relies on validation. And they may have been the secret. With the Devil, a lot of the time, it's somebody who is unethical. It's somebody who does something unfair, unjust, deviant. And with the Seven of Pentacles, you're waiting to see what happens there. It surprised you. It possibly involved somebody else. It's possibly, with the Queen of Wands, sometimes it can be this kind of love triangle thing in many ways, but it can also represent just how much the Devil can take hold of ordinary people. Ah, yes. The Star and the Seven of Swords. There is treachery amongst the Capricorns. So if you're wondering who it is, it's somebody that is possibly very narcissistic. Star power, the Star card. Somebody who has charisma. Somebody who has fans. Seven of Swords is telling you that somebody in your life that's very vain, especially with the Devil there, somebody in your life that's very vain, very unethical, is actually outing themselves. So I feel as though that's happened. I feel as though the secret that came out on the week of the full moon in Sagittarius, in your subconscious zone, in your secrecy zone, the secret has upset you and you're not feeling like yourself. Here's the Queen of Pentacles. That's you. If it's involving a Virgo or a Taurus, it's them. The Temperance card is suggesting that there's some healing to be done here that's possible. So it's not as though there is... Okay, there's a lot of people involved in this. There's somebody else that wants to know something. Possibly a fire sign. Sagittarius, Leo. The Sagittarius card keeps coming out, okay? So if you're dealing with a Sagittarius, you want to mend fences. You want things to be easier than it is. Sagittarius is coming up for a big reason. And you feel like they're being petulant. That Page of Wands, they're being petulant. They're being childish. And you want to know what's next, Capricorn. There's a lot of people popping up in your face mid-June. And as we go into your partnership sector, you kind of would rather people weren't interfering so much on your one-on-one relationships or your own personal time, because we're headed up to your full moon eclipse. As well as that, a solar eclipse in your partnership sector. Where are you guys going to go from here? That's the question. Six of Swords. Where are you and your partner, if you have one, going to go from here? And if you don't have a partner, where are you going to find them? If you're dealing with a Libra, something comes up in mid-June that's important. If you're dealing with somebody who you're married to, again, something comes up that's important and kind of karmic. Let's see. Yep, Seven of Swords. Somebody's been deceitful and somebody is being a bit of a trickster. Someone's trying to pull the wool over your eyes or get away with something, or there's the potential for somebody to emerge this way that you hadn't seen that side of before. Possibly an Aquarius. Have to say it. Possibly an Aquarius or an Aquarius style person. As the Star card, as I say, they star power. They're very sparkly. A lot of people want to listen to them. They're attractive. They have a way of saying things. You're possibly feeling kind of threatened by it, and you may be feeling threatened by it for a reason. There's somebody in your periphery that is not necessarily your biggest advocate. It's just the way it is actually in this reading, which is kind of strange. I mean, Neptune is about to go retrograde in your sector of communication. So what people say and do are going to be very different for a while. In fact, to be honest, Capricorn, and this whole Neptune and Pisces transit that goes on for very long, it's more of a global feeling, but you're kind of getting the vibe now that you're tired of people saying one thing and doing another and not knowing where you stand with people. Now, the Ace of Wands is in the positive position. The challenge is the Nine of Swords, and the outcome is the Six of Wands. Nice one. Okay, underneath we have the Empress. Let's clarify the Six of Wands, Judgment, King of Wands, and the Three of Swords, Capricorn. Interesting indeed. So, the plot thickens. You're calling out somebody. I know you're going to find your strength in your pain. Sounds cliche, but you're finding strength in your pain. You possibly are dealing with a fire sign, a King of Wands, a Leo, a Sagittarius, or an Aries who's really needing to be told off. They could be the person who's really very narcissistic in their behavior. It could be a Taurus or a Libra, but I'm more feeling as though it's a King of Wands personality. Now, King of Wands personalities are not necessarily bad guys, okay? So they're the type of guy who's very active, very social, very ambitious, very outgoing, outspoken. He's also the type of guy that doesn't know when to stop pushing his luck, because fire signs are kind of like that in general, right? And I'm not saying it has to be a fire sign. It could actually be a Scorpio with Judgment here. But I feel as though with the Six of Wands and Judgment, you find your success in being open and being honest, because Judgment after a Seven of Swords type situation is when all the truth comes out. Because when we go into eclipse season, especially with your partnerships, Capricorn, if you've been deceitful, you will find yourself in very deep trouble and possibly separated from both people if you're in a 3. If you are dealing with a fire sign, you might have to stop letting them get away with what they're getting away with, whether that's being disrespectful, whether that is something more sinister. Basically, Capricorn, there are secrets that have come out that you have to deal with the aftermath, and you'd really rather not because you're busy. You've got stuff in your mind and you would really rather not deal with the pettiness. But this is getting to you. Nine of Swords. If your dreams are very, very, very odd in the lead up to the solar eclipse and your full moon in July, and this isn't a July reading, but we're trying to smooth it all in, pay attention to your dreams, because there's people around you that are causing you great grief. There's people around you that are upsetting you, and especially if you're dealing with fire signs, they need to be told. Especially if they're juggling somebody else. Especially if they're not prioritizing your relationship over everything else. If you're dealing with a Taurus, maybe a Libra, you're waiting for them to be a bit more demonstrative. You're waiting for them to be a bit more affectionate and emotional. Because they're coming across as possibly on an adventure of their own with a lot of fun things going on, and I think you were maybe expecting more from them. Let them be. They'll be back. If somebody's juggling multiple people and doing it boldly, they need to be told. Similarly, if somebody is undercutting you in work, if somebody's disrespecting you in general, Capricorn, your success comes from calling them out. It just does. You find that strength. You have found yourself an opportunity to speak your truth because you've been given a wand. You've been given a piece of information. You're the torchbearer in the darkness of this secrecy, especially if you're surrounding yourself with people that have ulterior motives. And this is heavy, and I don't like it necessarily because I I'd prefer it to be more sweetness and light than it is. It just seems to me that for some Capricorns, the full moon has exposed somebody for being crappy. And you have to say it, because judgment is saying, wake up and smell the roses and speak your truth. And that's not to say you have to yell at everybody, but if you're dealing with a King of Wands person that is in a Three of Swords, Two of Pentacles, look at me, I juggle everybody, break multiple hearts, and I don't give a damn, why not tell them? Or why not at least cut them out if they're doing that? That's your choice. That's your prerogative. Whatever they're doing, though, you're going to be successful. That's pretty good. July is going to be a big month for you, Capricorn. It's very important that you stay mindful and stay aware. The full moon in Sagittarius has exposed things that you needed to know before you made some very big decisions in terms of your partnerships in July. And it'll all become clear then. But until then, love you guys, and I'll see you in the next set of readings. Bye, Cappies.